uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Britam Holdings PLC, I'm honored to welcome you to our company's 28th Annual General Meeting, which is the 5th one to be held virtually. I trust that you're all well from whichever location you've joined us. As you know, we are in very interesting and challenging times, but we trust that you're all safe. Before we start the business of the meeting, I will invite Reverend Samuel Washira to open with a word of prayer.
Thank you, Chair, our able GMD, our Board of Directors, and our customers. We request us to pray before we start our meeting. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, this morning we praise you for who and what you have done for us more than we could have imagined. Our prayer today is that your will be done in this noble event and your purpose for it. We know that when we gather, you always have a divine agenda for our wonderful company, Britam. Help us through this event as we endeavor to hit our financial targets. Take that which we have prepared and multiply our efforts as only you can. Steer our intentions to align with your righteous will. Remind us of your faithful provision when our efforts fail us or fall short. May all glory go up to you when we reach the finish line and climb our benchmarks. Blanket us with your peace today, Father. Keep us physically safe and guard our hearts and minds. Keep love at our forefront of our minds today and the guiding light for all we set out to accomplish and celebrate as we safeguard our dreams and aspirations. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Washira. I'd like to remind us that our national anthem, both for Kenya and East Africa, is also our prayer. We should remember those in these times that we are facing. So shareholders, this is my third AGM to chair. I was appointed as chair in December 2021 and therefore have been responsible for 2 full years of performance, but this is my third year to chair the AGM. And I'm delighted to highlight to you how the business has continued to grow and deliver value. The group definitely remains focused on our purpose, which is to safeguard dreams and aspirations to enable us to create value. And the foundations of our business are stronger, and they are really poised for sustainable growth and success. We started 2023 with a very clear strategic focus to improve on the financial operating performance in which we had realized in 2022. This was critical because the headwinds that we saw in 2023 were very significant. Across our footprint, the businesses that we have continued to feel the impact of the global economy, characterized by persistent high inflationary pressure, tight monetary policies in major economies, and geopolitical tensions. As we are aware, there's a war in Ukraine, there's a war in Gaza, so those continue to constrain global supply chains. But the Britam brand continues to remain strong. We have continued to earn the confidence of our stakeholders, and we emerged as the third strongest brand in Kenya with a 35% surge in brand value to 3.8 billion. Notably, Britam was the 6th fastest growing brand in Kenya in 2024. And our teams across the group have continued to show a very high level of commitment, and through their efforts, our financial advisors, our partners, we have remained true to our mission of providing our customers a wide array of financial solutions, and we continue being your friend for life. These collective efforts have not gone unnoticed. In 2023, the Aki Awards, which were held in March 2024, Britam Life Assurance was the life assurance for the company of the year for the 17th year in a row. This is really amazing and I think unprecedented to be the life assurance company of the year for 17 years. Our general insurance company was ranked first runners-up. We know that they will reclaim their first spot in a short while. We are really looking forward to that. But more importantly, our advisors, who really are the ones who intervene between us and our customers, have continued to excel, and we had the highest number of qualifiers, a record number of qualifiers for the Aki Awards. And indeed, one of our advisors, Ruth Mumbe, has now been the agent of the year for 3 years running, which is really commendable. On behalf of myself and the board, I do appreciate our staff, our management, and our financial advisors for their efforts in supporting Britam to retain its position as a leading integrated financial services provider. As you know, we are in a cycle of implementing our strategy. Our strategy starts from 2021 to 2025. So 2023 was the third year in our implementing our strategy, and we have reported significant progress, and we remain confident that this strategy will deliver and actually exceed the expectations that we had set. And with the progress that we have made and the fact that now the group's performance is stabilized, our focus is moving towards customer-centric transformation. Therefore, you can expect to see a growth in terms of customer numbers and revenue. We do have an associate, and our associate is HF, and we are pleased to see that HF is successful in its turnaround efforts, and we did record a share of profit of 187 million in the last year compared to 95 million in the previous year. We continue to support HF in its turnaround strategy, and we look to see even better results in the future. Shareholders, you will recall Tom Gitogo joined us on 1st of September 2022. And indeed, we have seen in the last 18 months significant benefit from his skills, his knowledge, his extensive leadership skills, and also his industry experience. But importantly, we now have a full complement of our top leadership who are supporting Tom to deliver on our promise to you. And furthermore, Britam Group now has the foundation to deliver the ambitious 2021-2025 strategy. The strong results for the last 3 years have come with insights on how we can optimize the resources to really deliver on our strategy. So we believe, we are confident that the strategy is working, and we know how to make it work even better. I must thank the board of directors. What you see, the results that you will be hearing of and we will be approving today, are really as a result of very strong oversight from our board of directors, which I believe is second to none. And I want to thank them for their insights, their oversight and stewardship throughout the year, and their consistent engagement, commitment, and invaluable knowledge and counsel. And I say this not just for the holdings board, but for all the boards that we have around the group. I acknowledge and appreciate most sincerely the hard work of our management, Tom and your team, and the staff and the financial advisors. We know that you have put in a lot of effort to make a big difference. And lastly, let me thank our shareholders, our investors, and other members of the investment community for your support and confidence in the future of our company. My detailed comments on the company's performance and changes are contained in my statement on pages 16 to 20 of the integrated report and financial statements, which are accessible on the company's website. Before I introduce the directors of a company, I want to say to you that at the holdings level, we have a very diverse board, which is an international board, and you will have seen their profiles on pages 27 to 29 of our financial results. Please look at it in detail because we do have a very strong board who I will now introduce to you. So we start off with Dr. Munga. Dr. Munga has been a director for some time and is a shareholder as well. Then we have George Odo. George Odo represents Africa Invest SP3 1. We have Eddie Schmidt. We have Celestine Munda. We have Jim Nambaru. We have Judy Rugasira. We have Julius Mbaya, Lotfi Bakush, and Susan Abisola. Shareholders, these directors are really carrying out their fiduciary duties, looking after your interests and holding management to task and providing very good insights as we implement the strategy. With me today, I have some of the directors, and I will introduce those who are here and also introduce some of the management who are here. To my right is Tom Gitogo. Next to Tom is Charles Njuguna, our Finance and Strategy Director. And next to Charles is Celestine Munda, who is an independent director. And to my left, we have Hilda Njeru, our Company Secretary. And next to her, on her left, is our audit partner from PwC, Richard Njoroge. And then Julius Mbaya, also an independent non-executive director, next to Richard. We also have Fiona Mweresa, who is our sign language interpreter. Thank you, Fiona. Shareholders, we shall now proceed as per the meeting agenda. And as the agenda item number 1, I shall ask the Company Secretary to report on the proxies we have received and to confirm the presence of a quorum.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, shareholders. In accordance with Article 68 of the Articles of Association of our company, having received the following proxies, I will shortly confirm that a quorum has been formed. We have a proxy from Afrikinvest 3 SPV1. We have a proxy from Standard Chartered Kenya nominee account 003819. We have a proxy from EH Venture Capital Kenya Limited. We have a proxy from Standard Chartered nominees a non-resident account number 11752. A proxy from EHL 2022 Limited. A proxy from Mwangi James Juguna. We have a proxy from Jengis Nominees Limited, account 038. We have a proxy from Filimbi Limited. We have a proxy from Bora Services Limited. We have a proxy from Equatorial Nut Processing Limited, all summing to 64.57% shareholding. We also have 3,606 registered shareholders for this meeting. So, Chairman, I confirm that a quorum has been formed for this meeting.
Thank you, Hilda. A quorum being present, I declare the meeting to be properly convened and duly constituted. Shareholders, we are now on agenda item 2, and I call upon the Company Secretary to read the notice convening the meeting.
Thank you, Chairman. The notice was published in 2 dailies in Kenya and on our website on the 5th of June 2024. The shareholders can access this notice on the company's website. I will now proceed to read the notice as published. Notice is hereby given that in accordance with the Articles of Association of the company, the 28th Annual General Meeting of the company will be held via electronic communication today, Thursday, 27th June 2024, starting at 10 a.m., when the business set out below will be transacted. Ordinary business, item number 1 will be to table the proxies and note the presence of a quorum, which we have done. Then to read the notice convening the meeting. Agenda item number 3 is to receive and, if approved, adopt the audited consolidated financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the chairman's, the directors, and the auditors' reports thereon. Agenda item number 4 will be to note that the directors do not recommend the payment of a dividend for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Agenda item number 5 on directors. Item number 1, to note that Ms. Caroline Keegan retires at this meeting in accordance with Articles 91 and 92 of the company's Articles of Association, and being eligible does not offer herself for re-election. Item number 2 on directors is to note Dr. Peter Munga retires by rotation in accordance with Articles 91 and 92 of the Articles of Association of the company, and having attained the age of 70 years, also retires in accordance with the Code of Corporate Governance Practices for issuers of securities to the public, and being eligible offers himself for re-election as a director of the company. Item number 3 on directors is to note Mr. Jim Nambaru retires by rotation in accordance with Articles 91 and 92 of the Articles of Association of the company, and having attained the age of 70 years, also retires in accordance with the Code of Corporate Governance Practices for issuers of securities to the public, and being eligible, offers himself for re-election as a director of the company. Item number 4, Africinvest 3 SPV1, a corporate director represented by Mr. George Odo, retires in accordance with Articles 91 and 92 of the Articles of Association of the company, and being eligible, offers itself for re-election as a director of the company. Item number 5 on directors, Ms. Judy Rugasira Chanda, who was appointed during the year, retires in accordance with Article 114 of the Articles of Association of the company, and being eligible, offers herself for re-election. Agenda item number 6, in accordance to the provisions of Section 769 of the Companies Act, the following directors, being members of the Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee of the Board, be elected to continue to serve as members of the said committee. Director Ms. Celestine Munda, Director Ms. Judy Rugasira Chanda, and Director Ms. Susan Abisola. Agenda item number 7 on directors' remuneration. Item number 1 will be to approve the directors' remuneration policy as shown in the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023. Item number 2 on directors' remuneration is to approve the directors' remuneration report as shown in the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, and to authorize the board to fix the remuneration of the directors. Agenda item number 8, shareholders, to reappoint PwC as auditors in accordance with Section 721, subsection 2, and Section 724 of our Companies Act, and to authorize the directors to fix the auditor's remuneration for the ensuing financial year in accordance with the provisions of Section 724, subsection 1 of the Companies Act. Agenda item number 9, to consider any other business of which due notice has been received. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Hilda. Shareholders, we now turn to agenda item 3 on the adoption and approval of the company's audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the chairman's, directors, and auditors' reports thereon. The annual report and financial statements were made available to all of you on our website. And fellow shareholders, the chairman's statement was circulated with the annual report, which you have. That statement is on pages 16 to 20. I propose that we take it as read. I will now take the opportunity to invite our Group Managing Director, Tom Gitogo, to present to you his report for the year ended 31st December 2023.
Thank you, Chairman. Dear shareholders, this is a great opportunity to engage with you as the wider shareholders community. Before I proceed, kindly allow me to introduce the executive management team that I have here. The chairman already introduced Charles Jogona, the Finance and Strategy Director. And to the chairman's left is Hilda Jero, our Group Company Secretary. We also have with us Catherine Carita, the Britam Foundation and Investor Relations Director, Ambrose Dabani, the CEO of our Life business, Jackson Deuri, the CEO of our General Insurance business, Barack Obatsa, the CEO of our Britam Asset Managers, Diane Corril, our Customer Experience, Brand and Marketing Director, Kennedy Aosa, our International Business Director, Saurabh Sharma, the CEO of Britam Microinsurance, and Eva Kemani, the Partnerships and Digital Channels Director, Evelyn Munyoki, who is our Human Resources Director, Eric Kisaka, our Risk and Compliance Director, Tom Juma, our General Manager, ICT, and Evelyn Agola, our Group Head of Internal Audit. My full report is on pages 21 to 24 of the 2023 Integrated Report, and this will be taken as read. However, as the chairman requested, I will make a few remarks. Shareholders, it is my pleasure to present my second report on the progress of our company to you, our esteemed shareholders. We have shown resilience as a group and have worked hard to tick off certain milestones and achievements that we had set for ourselves for the year. We are committed to maintain the momentum towards strong performance as we implement our strategy. We plan to continue building on this strong foundation as we continue to safeguard the dreams and aspirations of our various stakeholders. The year 2023 was a challenging one, both regionally and globally. Businesses had to strike a balance between optimizing the economic recovery after the impact of COVID-19 and successfully navigating through new headwinds occasioned by an adverse macroeconomic environment. Looking at the summary of our financial highlights, in 2023, we achieved significant growth across key financial metrics. Our insurance revenue increased by 41% to 36.4 billion Kenya shillings, reflecting our commitment to delivering value-driven solutions. Our profit before tax grew by 65% to 4.8 billion shillings, demonstrating the robustness of our operational and investment strategies. The contribution from our regional business has been pivotal in diversifying our revenue streams and enhancing our overall performance. Net investment income reached a high of 11.6 billion shillings, which is a 3% increase from the previous year, while the net insurance and investment results surged by 48% to 6.8 billion shillings. Looking at our operational performance, we have focused on enhancing efficiency and streamlining processes to better serve our customers. Our investments in cutting-edge technology, talent development, and process optimization have enabled us to achieve significant cost efficiencies and drive profitability. By embracing innovative solutions and digital platforms, we are providing seamless experiences tailored to meet diverse customer needs. Our commitment to talent development ensures that our workforce remains equipped to navigate the evolving market dynamics. I will look at the market analysis. The dynamic market landscape in Africa presents both challenges and opportunities. We have remained vigilant in monitoring market trends, consumer behavior, and regulatory developments, which has enabled us to adapt swiftly and capitalize on emerging opportunities. With GDP growth in the region of 5.9% to 6.5%, we intend to tap into this momentum, particularly in the underserved microinsurance sector. Let me now talk about sustainability. As a leading integrated financial services provider in Kenya and in the region, we have a privileged position to make a positive contribution to the welfare of humanity. Globally, the adverse effects of climate change continue to pose a challenge to the lives and livelihoods of many communities. We have taken a bold step to champion the sustainability agenda across our footprint and beyond. In November 2022, Britam became a member of the United Nations Global Compact program, joining thousands of leading companies across the globe that have committed publicly to advance the principles of responsible and sustainable business. We have committed to actively support the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which are central to our customer-centric agenda and strategy for the future in all our operations. Shareholders, allow me to digress a bit from my report and note that we recently launched our inaugural sustainability report, which highlights our commitment to conducting our business responsibly, ethically, and sustainably. This commitment extends beyond making profits and focuses on the well-being of the people and our planet. The sustainability report outlines our achievements in various areas, such as our environmental footprint, reduction, healthcare access initiatives, innovative climate insurance solutions, as well as robust anti-fraud measures from a governance perspective. Looking ahead, Britam will explore renewable energy solutions and leverage technology for greater efficiency. We will also be looking at innovative products and partnerships to future-proof our business and our impact and contribution to our societies. I invite you to have a look at the sustainability report on our website. Now, looking forward, the economic growth at the global level is expected to remain modest in 2024. This is owing to the heightened headwinds, including slower global growth and domestic interest rate increases. This is expected to be more or less reflected in the regional and the local economies as well, where Britam is present. We are cautiously optimistic of a favorable operating environment and business performance in the coming year, given the resilience muscle that we have collectively built over time within the Britam Group. With our Epic Squared strategy having delivered an encouraging performance, we are on the third year of the strategy period. We will continue to focus on sustaining the momentum to grow our top line as well as profitability. I would like now to, in conclusion, extend my deepest gratitude to our shareholders, our clients, our employees, financial advisors, and other business partners for their unwavering support and trust in the Britam Group. Together, we have achieved significant milestones and overcome challenges with resilience and determination. As we embark on the next phase of our journey, I am confident that with your continued support and collaboration, we will realize our shared aspirations and create a brighter, more prosperous future for all of us. Thank you for your continued trust and confidence in the Britam Group. I commit that we will not let you down. I now hand over back to the chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Shareholders, the director's report was also circulated with the annual report, and it is contained on pages 71 to 73. I propose that it is taken as read. I will now call upon Richard Njoroge, our audit partner from PwC, to present the auditor's report to you, shareholders.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, shareholders. I confirm that we carried out an audit of the financial statements of Britam Holdings PLC and its subsidiaries for the year ended 31st December 2023 and issued a clean audit opinion, which is contained on pages 74 to 80 of your booklet. It's a 7-page report. I will only read the opinion paragraph. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Britam Holdings PLC and its subsidiaries set out on pages 81 to 238, which comprise the consolidated statement of financial position as at 31st December 2023 and the consolidated statement of profit or loss, consolidated statement of comprehensive income, consolidated statement of changes in equity, and consolidated statement of cash flows for the year then ended, together with the company statement of financial position at 31st December 2023 and the company statements of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, changes in equity, and cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statements comprising material accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the group and company as at 31st December 2023, and of their financial performance and their cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards and the requirements of the Companies Act 2015. In our opinion, the information given in the report of the directors on pages 71 to 72 is consistent with the financial statements. In our opinion, the auditable part of the director's remuneration report on pages 59 to 61 has been properly prepared in accordance with the Companies Act 2015. Signed, FCPA Richard Njoroge, on behalf of PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP, 28th March 2024. Thank you, shareholders. Over back to the chairman.
Thank you, Richard. Shareholders, you've already been given an opportunity to ask questions and to seek clarifications with regard to the financial statements and the resolutions which are being presented and proposed. Responses have been provided to all shareholders who asked questions and sought clarifications, as was provided for in the notice calling for this meeting. That said, I shall provide an opportunity for the Group Managing Director to respond to some of the questions that have been raised by the shareholders. These questions were received through the AGM registration portal and through emails and the live stream. But this year, we are going to go a further step and allow you to call in and ask questions. We will take a number of questions which we will log, and then we'll answer them together with the questions that have been asked before. So just to some guidance as you call in, please, when you call in, state your name, your full names. Please be brief, ask your question. We will then log that question, and then we will respond together with the other questions. And we are now opening up the lines for you to dial in. We'll take a number of questions. We know that it's maybe people have questions to ask. Please, this is your chance, shareholders, to dial in and ask questions. Remember your name, 2 names if possible, so we can note down who asked the question. And please be brief in your question. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning. Please state your name and ask your question.
Okay, I'm Mary Pauline calling from Nairobi, and I have one question. How is Britam planning to adjust to the current economic environment? Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline.
Yes.
We shall log that question and we shall respond together with the other questions.
Okay, welcome.
We're open for further questions. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please give us your name and your question.
Okay, my name is Daniel Kimodo. I'm calling from Nairobi. Thank you for this opportunity to ask 1 or 2 questions. And I'm going to go straight to my questions. I have about 3. Number 1, you operate in Malawi, Uganda, Kenya, Mozambique, Tanzania, Rwanda, and South Sudan, and that is very good. I was looking to see of these countries, how much did each country contribute in the bottom line. Maybe I have not seen it, or maybe it is there. But my question is, in the spirit of East African community, have you ever thought of venturing into Democratic Republic of Congo? It is a very rich country where you can get money, and I'm sure your board is competent enough to know that. Number 2, insurance revenue was up by 10 billion, yet when you look at the bottom line, insurance service results, it only increased by 1.5 billion. Of course, there is service expenses and everything went up. But does that mean that there were more service expenses in comparison with the revenue results, the insurance revenue? Because bottom line, it has only increased by 1.5 billion. In relation to that, the accumulated losses in the balance sheet totals 3.4 billion negative. Very well in the recent last year and the year before, but I don't know when are you planning as the management to make this figure of 3.4 billion negative returns to be positive, so that we can be able, of course, to get a dividend.
Okay.
Now let me come to the general expenses, the expenses themselves.
Daniel, because we have other shareholders, Daniel, do you mind if we just answer those three questions of yours?
Let me ask only this and staff cost, and then I will be through.
Okay.
In the balance sheet, there is an item called restricted cash, which was 216 million. What is this? What is this restricted cash? And then staff cost, and that is my last question. Staff cost decreased from 417 million to 75 million, quite an alarming figure. Did you retrench? Did you do away with almost all the staff? And also explain about office management expenses and sales and marketing, because they have really decreased. Thank you. And provision for investment losses of 656 million.
Okay.
Thank you. I hope you will answer me all those questions.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. So, shareholders, please, let's be brief with our questions. State your name, be brief with your questions. I think we have noted Daniel's questions. We shall answer them. We are open for further questions. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning. Good morning, all of you. My name is Sally Chepkorir, and I'm a shareholder of Britam. Now, Chair, allow me to laud you, your board of directors, for the incredible results that you produced despite the most difficult year. I want to laud you for that, and to laud the CEO for bringing the expertise, the experience, and the higher grades of prosperity. Let me go straight to my question now. My first question is on cyber security. What measures is the company taking to ensure that you are protecting sensitive customer data from cyber threats and ensuring data privacy and compliance? The second question is on ESG. How are you intending to mitigate the risk associated with the increasingly frequent and severe natural disasters or calamities? A good example, the flood that struck various parts of our country. The next question is on brand. It is known that Britam has a solid and strong brand. In the midst of a strong competition, what measures have you put in place to ensure you protect the strength of your strong brand in quality of your products and client centricity? The next one.
Can we restrict you to three questions?
The final, Chair. It is very important, this one.
Okay.
It is about the capacity building for the youth. Building economy is not simple, right? What role does the company play in building capacity for the youth so that they can nurture and tap their talents, especially those who have graduated and those looking for internship? Thank you very much.
Thank you, shareholders. I think we have received a very good number of questions there. Allow me to take just those questions, because some of our shareholders ended up asking 3 or 4 or 5 questions. And we will now answer those questions. But before we respond to your questions, we want to provide you with guidelines on how to cast your votes for the resolutions which are being placed before this AGM and which were summarized in the notice of this meeting, which was read by our company secretary, Hilda. So please watch the upcoming video, which will guide you on how to vote. And after the video, we will come back and answer all your questions. They are very good questions, and we will deal with each question individually. So thank you very much, shareholders. Please watch the video because it will tell you how to vote.
Welcome to the 2024 Annual General Meeting of Britam Holdings PLC. Voting for the AGM resolutions is currently open. Karibu kwenye mkutano mkuu wa mwaka 2024 wa Britam Holdings PLC. Upigaji kura kwa maazimio ya AGM kwa sasa umefunguliwa. A text message and an email prompt has been sent to all eligible shareholders and proxies with instructions on how to vote. Those with multiple accounts and holding proxies on behalf of other members will be prompted to vote for the various accounts consecutively. Ujumbe mfupi na barua pepe umetumwa kwa wanahisa wote wanaohitimu na wawakilishi, yani proxy, ulio na maagizo ya jinsi ya kupiga kura. Kwa wale walio na akaunti zaidi ya moja au aliyetumwa kuwakilisha, yani proxy, watahamasishwa kupiga kura kwa akaunti mbalimbali mfululizo. Registered shareholders and proxies will key in and dial the following USSD code from any mobile phone network in Kenya. *483*824#. Wanahisa na wawakilishi, yani proxy, watapiga msimbo wa USSD ufuatao kwenye simu zao. Msimbo huu unaweza kutumika kwa mitandao yote ya simu humu nchini. *483*824#. Once the shareholder chooses the language, the next prompt will be as follows. Mwanahisa atakapochagua lugha atapata jibu lifuatalo. Welcome to the Britam Holdings PLC. Reply with 1. Karibu kwa mkutano mkuu wa mwaka wa Britam Holdings PLC. Bonyeza 1. Once the shareholder has responded, they shall receive the following prompt. Mwanahisa atapata jibu lifuatalo. Accounts registered with your number are listed below. Reply with 1 to vote using the first listed account. Akaunti iliyosajiliwa kwa nambari yako imeorodheshwa hapa chini. Bonyeza 1 kupiga kura. Once the shareholder has responded, they shall receive the following prompt. Mwanahisa atapata jibu lifuatalo. To receive and, if approved, adopt the audited consolidated financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the chairman's, the directors, and the auditors' reports thereon. Reply with 1 if in favor. Reply with 2 if against. Reply with 3 to abstain. Kupokea na ikiidhinishwa kupitisha taarifa jumuishi za fedha zilizokaguliwa kwa mwaka ulioishia tarehe 31 Disemba mwaka 2023, pamoja na taarifa za mwenyekiti, wakurugenzi na mkaguzi wa hesabu. Bonyeza 1 kukubali. Bonyeza 2 kukataa. Bonyeza 3 kuazilia. Continue following the same prompts for all other resolutions. Shareholders with multiple accounts shall be prompted to vote until they exhaust all their accounts. Endelea kufuata mchakato kwa hoja zingine. Mwanahisa anaweza kurudia mchakato mzima ili kupiga kura tena ikiwa ana akaunti zaidi ya moja. The live stream link for this meeting was sent to all eligible shareholders via SMS and email. Once you click the link, you will find the resolution tab on the dashboard. Click the button and thereafter click the voting options against each resolution as per your choice. Once completed, click the Submit Vote for Resolutions button to complete voting. Kiungo cha mtiririko wa moja kwa moja cha mkutano huu kilitumwa kwa wanahisa wote wanaostahiki kupitia SMS na barua pepe. Mara baada ya kubofya kiungo, utapata kichupo cha resolution kwenye dashbodi. Bofya kitufe na kisha ubofye chaguo za kupiga kura dhidi ya kila azimio kulingana na chaguo lako. Baada ya kukamilika, bofya kitufe cha Submit Vote for Resolutions ili kukamilisha kupiga kura. Closing of voting will be announced by the chairman. Kufungwa kwa upigaji kura kutatangazwa na mwenyekiti. Results of the resolutions voted on will be published on the company's website within 24 hours following the conclusion of the AGM. Matokeo ya uchaguzi yatachapishwa kwenye wavuti wa kampuni kati ya masaa 24 kufuatia hitimisho la mkutano.
Shareholders, we trust that you have watched the video and have taken note of the guidance on the voting process. I will now request our Group Managing Director, Tom, together with his team to respond to the questions that you've asked. And we must say that the questions that you have asked are very pertinent and relevant, and we shall answer them.
Thank you, Chairman. I will start off with some of the questions that have been asked online before I come to the questions that were asked through the phone. The first online question, and it's a group of questions, was why the board has not recommended a dividend payout despite good results. Firstly, shareholders, our retained earnings at the holding company level, as also observed by some of our shareholders, has remained negative, largely because of the significant loss that the group made in 2020. We have been reversing this number with our profitability over the last 3 years, and when we have completely reversed this in the next year or so, the board will certainly consider paying a dividend. I would also like to add that our ambitious strategy for growth requires a certain level of funding. A lot of the activities will also require funding, and we will also balance this too as a board as we consider dividend. So the technical position we find ourselves in, where our retained earnings are negative, is what is not enabling us to pay a dividend. The second group of questions online is relating to the increased level of director remuneration. As the chairman mentioned, shareholders, we have continued to strengthen our boards, not just at the holding level, but also across the group. We have continued to strengthen the boards with independent, highly qualified professionals in their field. And although we can never compensate them fully for their time, we need, as much as possible, to remunerate our directors competitively compared to our peers, all at the level that our peers do. I will now look at the online questions. The first question was by Mary Pauline, calling from Nairobi. How is Britam planning to adjust to the current economic times? If there is anything that the COVID season taught us, as well as the very rapid changes of macroeconomics last year, 2023, especially from quarter two, it is to be agile and responsive. Although our strategy period is 5 years, shareholder Mary, we have learned to look at activities on a more regular basis, on the happenings outside. So we have found that being adaptable, looking at our services and our products offering and how relevant they are to the changing needs of our customers has kept us ahead of the game. So we will continue to do this, Mary, where although we have a 5-year strategy, we really, as a management team and as a board, will continue looking at the environments that we operate in on a more regular, daily basis, if that's what it calls for. The good thing is we have the expertise, both at board level, but also at management level, to respond to some of the challenges that the world out there is throwing at us. Daniel Kimotho, about our regional businesses and how much they are contributing to the bottom line. Now, one of the things that we have done, Daniel, over the last few years is to ensure that the quality of business that our regional businesses are writing is good. And we are now comfortable that we have ticked that box and we can now scale. The good news is that in the 2023 results that we are looking at, all the countries contributed positively to our profit before tax. Some not so much as they could, and we are challenging them. The second highest contributors, because we still get 70% of our profit from our Kenyan operations, were Uganda and Mozambique. But collectively, the 6 countries outside Kenya contributed 29% of the profitability that you see in the accounts before us. The challenge we have given ourselves is to move that 30-70 ratio towards 40-60 and ultimately to 50-50. It's one of the diversification strategies that we have. How will we do that? By doing more with the same infrastructure that we have set up in these countries, especially now that we are comfortable that the quality of business in those markets, that we are writing in those markets is acceptable. So whereas I may not give you specifics, but each of the countries contributed positively. We know some of the countries did not equate to their GDP. For example, we have quite a bit of work to do with our Tanzania business. Being the second biggest economy in the region, it also needs to be the second biggest contributor to our profitability, and we have challenged ourselves as well as our colleagues there to realize that dream. On DRC, this is one of the activities that the board has taken quite seriously, and we are looking at the market, and the board has approved us to go into due diligence level of some of the targets that we have identified there. Because you are right, Bwana Daniel Kemodo, the DRC market is one that we cannot ignore. The insurance revenue went up by 10 billion, but our profitability went up by 1.5 billion. Our finance director, in his comments, will add more color to the comments I'm going to make. But a large segment of our business, Daniel, is long-term insurance. And therefore, what that means is that the profitability of the products and services that we give in our long-term business is realized over time. Actually, some of our products in life have a period timeline of more than 10 years. But our finance director will comment on that. I think your question, Daniel, on the accumulated losses, 3.4, I have somehow touched on that with my comment on dividend. The loss we made in 2020, but as you can see, we have been extinguishing that accumulated loss position with our profitability of each subsequent year. Charles will comment on the restricted cash as well as the expenses. Our observation is that our staff costs have gone up slightly with inflation, not down, but Charles will expound on that figure. The reason our expenses continue to go down relative to our top line is that we still feel that one of our quick win area is to continue being efficient with our expenses. We have continued to automate a lot of our systems, update some of our old legacy systems, and that is bringing in efficiency, where we are able to write a lot more business with the same number of staff, but also with the same level of infrastructure. Let me now go to Sally Chepkoril's question. We appreciate your comment on your commendation on the good results. It only adds fuel to the fire of continuing to do well. So thank you, Sally, for that. On cybersecurity, I have one of my directors, Eric Kisaka, who will comment on the issue of cyber security. Perhaps you can do that now, Eric, before I come back to talk about ESG.
Thank you, Tom. So when it comes to cybersecurity, we've done a couple of things to ensure that we really strengthen our operating environment. One of the key ones is around upgrading our core systems. And between last year running into by early next year, we shall have replaced all our operating systems and all our core systems into updated systems that are now based on the cloud, where we're able to manage the cyber risk much better. Besides that, we've also implemented tools that help us to monitor around intrusion detection. And we've set up a cyber security team within the IT department that then monitors what's happening around our systems and our environment to ensure that any potential risks are adequately mitigated. Besides that, on the second line of defense, we also have set up a cyber security team that does continuous monitoring and oversight around cyber risk management. The other area of vulnerability is usually around people, and we do have a lot of continuous training that we are doing for our staff to ensure that they're up to date around potential social engineering risks that can be used to exploit people for cyber breaches. And we also do a lot of simulations with our staff to identify areas of vulnerability, working with third-party providers to do vulnerability assessment and penetration tests to identify any potential vulnerabilities that we then continuously address. We also provide cyber security or cyber risk insurance to our clients. So besides protecting ourselves, we also help our clients to mitigate or recover from impacts of cyber security. And lastly, we also have data privacy. We have categorized our data according to sensitivity and how we need to secure that. And working with some key vendors, putting solutions that help us to protect our data according to sensitivity and to monitor and ensure that data is accessed based on how it's supposed to be accessed. And we've also ensured that we've implemented the data privacy regulations in totality. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Coming to the issue of the natural disasters that we have seen, I think shareholder Sally Chepkoril is right. For those that are familiar with the Kenyan setting, we have witnessed Lake Nakuru, Lake Bogoria rise in water levels quite significantly. So as Britam, we've not been left behind, and in fact we are at the forefront of coming up with products, index-based insurance that helps our customers and our communities recover or get ready, prepare for some of these natural disasters. Shareholders, you might recall that in Q3 and Q4 last year, we working with Swiss Re and ourselves, we came up with an indexed-based flood insurance product that helped families and communities in Lower Tana and the good thing with this is that the payments for any occurrences is automatic. We do not need to visit Lower Tana. We did not need to visit Lower Tana in December to establish that there were floods. This is the beauty of index-based insurance. So, Sally, we will continue to work with like-minded organizations and also within Britam to ensure that we are responding and leading the way in matters natural disasters, as well as I said earlier in my comments, the wider topic of taking care of our environment, the whole issue of sustainability and resilience, as well as the governance around that. I will invite our CX Director, Brand and Marketing, to comment on the question that you raised, Sally, on our brand and what we are doing about it.
Thank you, and good morning, shareholders. Thank you, Ms. Sally, for the question on the brand. Indeed, we do have a very strong brand, and it is the brand that has actually carried Britam through the ups and downs that any organization would go through. Internally, we usually do an assessment of our brand, and we have a brand health survey that we normally conduct Over the last 2 years, we have found that Britam has continued to be the strongest brand among insurance players here in Kenya. Externally, there was a brand report that came out by Brand Finance. Brand Finance is a UK-based organization, and this is not a survey that is commissioned by Britam, but it is an independent survey where Britam was the third strongest brand in Kenya, and this is after Equity and KCB. Of course, the strongest brand in the insurance industry as well. So definitely we do have a very strong brand, and we need to make sure that we continuously protect it and continuously enhance the Britam brand. So what are we doing around the customer experience aspect as well as the brand awareness? Around customer experience, the first thing we needed to do is make sure that we have a solid structure on service quality, and that is what we have in place. We have a service quality team that looks at processes across the organization, making sure that we are continuously improving and streamlining the processes that we have. Complaints management, where we let customers down. We have a team that is able to immediately pick up any issue, any complaint that comes to us, and we solve the customer complaints within a 24-48 hour period. Currently, 85% of all complaints are resolved within 2 days, and we make sure that we keep customers updated throughout the process. The other thing as well is making sure that we have channels that customers can access their services and access our solutions as well. So self-service channels. We are currently in the process of improving our online customer portal and our app. Many of us, many of the customers should already have communication. We will be launching this within the next 2 weeks. And just have solutions at the customer's fingertips. So wherever it is that they may be, they are able to access our services. On our WhatsApp and through the leadership of our partnerships and digital teams, we have a WhatsApp channel. We've named her Bella, and our customers can also access services very easily through the WhatsApp channel as well. Those are just some of the few things that we're doing around the customer experience and improving customer satisfaction. Around the brand itself, a brand is not a brand if it is not known, it is not recognizable. And so there's a lot of work that we are doing around making sure that the brand is continuously recognizable, it is top of mind. You may have already started to see a lot of out-of-home billboards around what we are calling our Friends for Life campaign. The Friends for Life campaign is to let our customers, let our shareholders and all stakeholders know that Britam is there for them. Our brand promise being with them every step of the way. And so we just want to be that friend who stands with the customer every step of the way through the journey that we have. And so the brand campaign is to bring ourselves closer to the customer and become more relatable to the customer. The other thing that we're doing as well is around having spaces and branches that speak to the brand that we have. Many of our branches, have gone through various seasons and phases, a little bit worn out, and we are going through a season of renovation. And we have about 25 branches. We have already completed renovation of 4 branches. We have another 6 branches that are ongoing right now to be completed before August. The idea is to make sure that we have branches where our customers, our financial advisors, and our staff members find it a place that they can come to and have conversations about the dreams and the aspirations that they want to have. These are state-of-the-art facilities, taking in mind sustainability aspects around it as well. So in terms of the energy consumption that is utilized, the greenery that we have in those branches. So I welcome you to visit some of those branches as well as we go on. But we do have a big strategy around our brand, and we're very proud of our brand and will continue to enhance the brand. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Before I ask our HR director to comment on capacity building for our youth, I will ask Eric to comment on the data protection, given that we have sensitive data as an insurance group, as Sally had asked.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, we do carry a lot of customer data that is sensitive. And what we've done is, first of all, we've categorized our data based on the level of sensitivity. And we have deployed different solutions to help us to bucket this data and control how this data is accessed. So we do use a couple of solutions from the vendors that we work with to show which data is sitting where, who can access that data, and to monitor if there's any potential breaches to accessing that data. We've also engaged a third-party provider who helps us once a year to audit our data privacy controls and to tell us areas where we still have vulnerabilities to ensure that those vulnerabilities are currently or are addressed so that we don't have any breaches. And in the event that we have any person trying to access sensitive data, we also do have solutions that trigger an alert to us to show us that there's data that is at risk of being accessed, and we're able to mitigate that in good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. I will now invite our HR director to comment on capacity building for our youth and internship schemes. And then I'll come back to one online question that has come through before I invite Charles, our FD, to answer the other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I'll pick up the question that was asked about the youth agenda. And as Britam, we are very aware, very alive to the youth agenda. And the fact that we have already 65%, more than 65% of our staff actually are in the youth bracket. And we are very clear that we have very strategic initiatives and imperatives that we need to put in place, and we have put in place. I'll start with the fact that we have an innovation lab. That innovation lab has been a game changer for us. It's a big bet in the sense that it continues now to bring forth the issues around youth who want to start up different businesses, being entrepreneurs in the startup space. But as well as that, we also partnering with TVETs to make sure that we can actually begin to capture some of that capability from that place where we have technical skills. The other area that we are focusing on in terms of working with Beta Lab and innovation is working with institutions of higher learning, just to make sure that we can get the skills that are emerging, the skills that actually are making a difference in the world today. So for example, AI skills, a lot of things around data scientists. Those are the things that we are actually spending a lot of time investing in as Britam. We also have internships that are continue to happen in Britam, and this is spanning all the way from where we have rare skills, but also to make sure that we have a continuous throughput in terms of talent that comes into Britam. And for those who do exceedingly well, we have seen those incorporated into our workforce and to make sure they become part of our Britam family. The other place where we are spending also time on is to create job shadowing experiences for students who are in high schools, just to get them to understand and to appreciate the work environment, but also to hear from them what it is that they view as what we can work with them better, how they can experience the workplaces differently, and also to help us build the workplace of the future, the work environment of the future, but also consideration about how to lead the youth. The other area that I'll also mention as part of our partnership model in terms of our microinsurance, we work with affiliate partners, and a lot of these partners also come from the youth segment. And this youth segment then is helping us create inroads into the youth sector and to see how we can best work with them and best incorporate them into our ecosystem, because youth continue to be integral to our growth. They continue to be integral to the products of the future, the solutions of the future, in terms of making sure we can safeguard dreams and aspirations of our customers and the people who belong to the larger ecosystem that Britam operates. I think that is what I can cover from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evelyn. Okay. There's a question online on how directors are elected. The group nominations, governance and remuneration committee, as well as the group board, reviews and assesses the board composition across the group and recommends the appointment of new directors for all the subsidiaries. The board then works with consultants who identify suitable candidates for us based on these needs. The proposed candidates for the role of non-executive director then undergo a formal screening process by the Nominations and Governance Committee before they are formally appointed by the board. All the board appointments, shareholders, are based on merit in the context of the skills and the experience, their independence and knowledge for the board as a whole, so as to remain effective. Obviously, on the backdrop of good corporate governance as guided by the Capital Markets Authority and also by the Insurance Regulatory Authority. So as we finish this session, I will now invite our Finance Director to go through some of the other questions that have a financial connotation, as well as those asked by online by Sally, Mary, Daniel, and Daniel that he may want to emphasize a bit more than I did. So over to you, Charles.
Great, thank you very much. So we had a question that came online with regard to what is the real value of each share. And the reference value is a trading price at the stock exchange, given that Britam is a listed entity. And this has ranged between 5 shillings and 6 shillings over the last 1 year. But it's always good to compare this with the book value or the net asset value per share that we do have, which is currently at 10 shillings. So you do appreciate the fact that the share is trading at a discount of 50% vis-a-vis the book value that we have as at the end of the year. And this is not really unique to Britam, as we did see the equities index decline by 25% last year, which is really in response to the macroeconomic environment, which the GMD did allude to early in his discussions. And this did contribute to the low valuations that we have seen coming through across the entire listed stocks environment. But we do expect to see an improvement in the valuations because we are seeing the macros improving in the current year, and also as we continue to build on a positive profit trajectory in the current year and also resume our dividend payouts. So this should place us in par with our South African counterparties, which are currently trading at around 1.5 times the book value. So there is a potential upside that we expect to see from that. The other question which we had from Daniel Kimotho was with regard to the insurance service result. And I think this is one of the benefits that you're seeing coming from IFRS 17, which we adopted earlier on in 2023. So it brings around transparency. So what you realize is that the insurance service revenue has grown by the 10 billion, as you correctly mentioned. But what happens is that we do need to reserve for the long-term business, as the GMD mentioned. But to give you comfort is that we are hiving off these future profits into the balance sheet, into an account referred to as a contractual service margin. And this will be released over time as we continue offering the insurance service to the insured customers that we do have. So we are writing profitable business. Our expenses remain within reason, within our expectations, and we don't expect to have any loss-making business impacting on this line into the future. The other question which I want to respond to was with regard to the restricted cash, which again is a good point that you've raised. What happens is that in Sudan and Uganda, there's a regulatory requirement that we need to maintain 10% of the paid up capital as restricted cash. So it cannot be accessed by the business. So that's the amount of 216 million that we have within the balance sheet to cater for that. So it's really more of a regulatory requirement more than anything else. Then on the expenses, and the staff expense to be specific, you did make a mention that this has reduced, but this is more for the holding company. Overall, the staff expenses did increase in line with inflation and also the need to retain and attract good skills. But at the holding company level, we had a decline, and this was really as a result of some costs which had been carried at the holding company level in 2022, which was subsequently allocated to the subsidiaries in 2023. So really, it was more of a timing issue as against having the overall costs declining. I think those are the questions that had been raised, which I responded to. Thank you, Tom.
So thank you, shareholders, for your questions. Please note you can continue sending in the questions. We commit to answering them online as the day progresses. For now, I shall hand back the meeting to the chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And thank you, shareholders. And in particular, Mary, Sally, and Daniel, you can see we have taken your questions seriously. We do believe as a board in having the highest standards of governance, and we need to be accountable to our shareholders. So please continue, as you've heard from our GMD, sending your questions. Once we receive your questions, we shall collate them, and we shall print all the responses to the questions, and we shall send them to each shareholder by SMS. And the detailed answers will also be published on our website by the end of day today. So please go ahead and ask any questions that we've not answered. This is your time. We shall answer them. But in the interest of time, we want to bring that to a halt and move on to the next agenda item. So shareholders, we now want to move to agenda item number 3 to 8. And shareholders, we have dealt with your questions, and we shall now proceed to vote for the resolutions of the meeting as contained in agenda number 3 to number 8 of the notice. The resolution shall be passed by a poll, and all shareholders who registered for the meeting have received an SMS and email prompt to cast their votes. So the first agenda item is agenda item number 3 that we're going to vote on, and this is regarding the approval of audited consolidated financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023. I will now request the Company Secretary to read out the proposed resolution with respect to agenda item 3 on the approval of the audited consolidated financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, and to confirm whether we have a proposer and seconder of the motion.
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the resolution that is put forward to you to vote is as follows: that the audited financial statements, consolidated financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the chairman's, the directors, and the auditors' reports thereon, be and are hereby approved and adopted. Chairman, I confirm that Kibor Salik Jepkoril has proposed that motion, and Waiganjo Emery Wajiku has seconded the motion.
Thank you, Hilda. Shareholders, the resolution to approve the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the chairman's, directors, and auditors' report, have been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. Thank you. Please, shareholders, we did give you the guidelines to vote. You can vote now as we continue with the next agenda item. Thank you. The next agenda item is in regard to dividend declaration. Shareholders, this year, the company did not declare any dividend. As you've heard from our group finance director and as well as our group managing director, we are still consolidating our financial resources to fund our ambitious strategy. And in addition, we do have the accumulated loss position at the holdings company. Therefore, this agenda item is to note that the directors do not recommend the payment of a dividend for the year ended 31st December 2023. Thank you. We now move on to agenda item number 5, which is on rotation and re-election of directors. Shareholders, you're requested to note that Ms. Caroline Kigen is due to retire by rotation in accordance with Articles 91 and 92 of the Articles of Association. And being eligible, she does not offer herself for re-election as a director of the company. I would like to take a brief opportunity to thank Caroline Kigen, who has served on our board for a considerable time and has been the chair of Audit and Risk and Compliance Committee. And we wish to thank her for her diligent service and wish to her all the best in her future endeavors. I will now request our company secretary to read out the proposed resolutions with respect to the re-election of directors and to confirm whether we have a proposer and seconder for each of the motions.
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the resolutions put forward to you are as follows. The first director is Director Dr. Peter Munga, retires by rotation in accordance with Articles 91-92 of the Articles of Association of the company, and having attained the age of 70 years, also retires in accordance with the Code of Corporate Governance Practices for issuers of securities to the public, and being eligible, offers himself for re-election as a director of the company. Item number 2, that Director Jim Nambaru retires by rotation in accordance with Articles 91 and 92 of the Articles of Association of the company, and having attained the age of 70 years, also retires in accordance with the Code of Corporate Governance Practices for issuers of securities to the public, and being eligible, offers himself for re-election as director of the company. The third director, Africa Invest 3 SPV1, a corporate director represented on the board by Mr. George Odo, also retires in accordance with Articles 91 and 92 of the Articles of Association of the company, and being eligible, offers itself for re-election as a director of the company. The fourth director, Ms. Judy Rugasira Chanda, who was appointed during the year, retires in accordance with Article 114 of the Articles of Association of the company, and being eligible, offers herself for re-election as a director of the company. Chairman, shareholders, I confirm that Odera Jason Obonyo has proposed, and Peter Wilson Andala has seconded the motion to re-elect Dr. Peter Munga as a director. Mwangi Rachel Muthoni has proposed, and Muru Regina Wangoi has seconded the motion to re-elect Mr. Jim Nambaru as a director. Uhuru Kennedy has proposed, and Kioko Wambua Paul has seconded the motion to re-elect Africa Invest 3 SPV1 as a director. And finally, Chairman, Chemingiwa Sami Rodere has proposed, and Ruth Muthoni Mbugua has seconded the motion to re-elect Ms. Judy Rugasira Chanda as a director.
Thank you, Hilda. Shareholders, the resolutions to re-elect Dr. Peter Munga, Mr. Jim Nambaru, Africa Invest 3 SPV1, Ms. Judy Rugasira Chanda as directors have been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. Thank you. Shareholders, we now move to agenda item number 6. And agenda item 6 is on the re-election of members of the Board Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. The proposed members of this committee are Ms. Celestine Munda, who's here with us today, Judy Rugasira, and Susan Abisola. This is a very important committee for us. I now request the Company Secretary to read out the proposer's resolution with respect to this agenda to confirm whether we have a proposer and seconder of the motion.
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the resolution that is put forward for you to vote is as follows: that pursuant to Section 769 of the Companies Act, that Ms. Celestine Munda, Ms. Judy Rugasila Chanda, and Ms. Celestine Abisola, being members of the Board Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee, be and are hereby elected to continue to serve as members of the Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. Chairman, I confirm that the motion has been proposed by Muthengi Samuel Mutumwa and seconded by Nyumu Simon Mwendwa.
Thank you. Shareholders, the resolution on the election of the members of the Board Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee has been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. Shareholders, we now move to agenda item number 7. This agenda is in relation to the approval of the Director's Remuneration Policy and the Director's Remuneration Report. Shareholders, you'll note that the company has disclosed the Director's Remuneration for the year ended 31st December 2023 on pages 59 to 61 of the annual report. In accordance with the provisions of Section 681 of the Companies Act 2015 and the 10th schedule of the Companies Regulations 2017, members are required to vote on the Director's Remuneration Policy as well as the Director's Remuneration Report. I now request the Company Secretary to read out the proposed resolution and to confirm whether we have a proposer and seconder of the motion.
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the resolution put forward to you is as follows: that the Director's Remuneration Policy, as shown in the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, be and is hereby approved, and further, that the Director's Remuneration Report, as shown in the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, be and is hereby approved, and further, that the Board of Directors are authorized to fix the remuneration of the directors.
Thank you.
Chairman, I confirm that the motion on Directors' Remuneration Policy has been proposed by Degwa Francis Morigi and seconded by Ngugi John Mwaniki. I also confirm that the motion on Directors' Remuneration Report has been proposed by Ogutu Victor Owino and seconded by Munene John K.
Shareholders, the resolution with respect to the approval of the Directors' Remuneration Policy and the Directors' Remuneration Report for the year ended 31st December 2023, and the authority for the board to fix the remuneration of the directors has been proposed and seconded. I now put it to the meeting for voting. Shareholders, we're now moving to agenda item number 8, which is on the reappointment of auditors and setting of auditors' remuneration. PricewaterhouseCoopers are the auditors for the group, and this agenda item is for us to approve the appointment of those auditors for the next year and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. PricewaterhouseCoopers have expressed their willingness to continue in office as auditors. I now request the Company Secretary to read out the proposed resolution with respect to the appointment of auditors and to confirm whether we have a proposer and seconder of the motion.
Thank you, Chairman. Shareholders, the resolution that is put forward for you to vote is as follows: that PricewaterhouseCoopers be and is hereby reappointed as auditors of the company in accordance with sections 721 and 724 of the Companies Act 2015, and the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the auditor's remuneration. Chairman, this motion has been proposed by Buja Wilson Wambu and seconded by Jaria Joseph Maina.
Thank you. Shareholders, the resolution on the reappointment of auditors and auditors' remuneration has been proposed and seconded, and I now put it to the meeting for voting. Shareholders, we are now on agenda item number 9, and this is to consider any other business of which due notice has been received. I would like to ask the Company Secretary to inform us of the position.
Chairman, shareholders, I confirm that no notice of any other business has been received.
Thank you, Hilda. There being no other business of which due notice has been received, I move to conclude the meeting. Shareholders, as we had communicated, voting was opened yesterday before the meeting and shall continue until 1 p.m. today. I request you to continue casting your vote on the proposed resolutions through the mobile phone numbers that you registered for the AGM of the live stream that is screen that you have. The results of the poll shall be published on the company's website within 24 hours or after verification by our auditors, PricewaterhouseCoopers. In closing, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the shareholders for attending the meeting. We know we had more than 3,000 shareholders who have registered. And shareholders, we would like to say that we as a company and as a board, we are a good citizen of the country and of the region, and we are aware of the circumstances that our country is in, and would like to offer condolences to all those who have lost lives and those who have been injured and those whose businesses and properties have been affected. We pray for normalcy, and as we said earlier on, our national anthem is part of our prayer, and as we say, may justice be our shield and defender. We'd like to thank you for attending this meeting. We'd like to thank Immediate Registrars for the technical aspects of this meeting, and we'd like to ask you to please stay safe and stay well. And I now declare the meeting officially closed and will request Reverend Samuel Washira to close with a word of prayer.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for that comprehensive statement and Q&A for our shareholders. We request us to close with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, as we come to the end of our time together, we thank you for what has been accomplished today. May the matters and agendas discussed serve as catalysts to move us forward, cause us to advance and see growth in all areas of our business within this great organization. Please keep an ever vigilant eye over our management team, customers, and stakeholders. As we close our meeting today, please have an ever-loving guiding hand over our lives, that we may return our home safe. In the name of the Father, Son, we pray and give trust. Thank you.
tuilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.